They have published work in poetry, the Comstock Review, Slant, and elsewhere. They are a friend of mine. Please welcome Davi to the stage.
All right, I want to say thank you to PEN America and Jen and MPWW. And without you all, I wouldn't be up here. I also appreciate Zeke for the intro. And I am Davi. My pronouns are they and them. And I have 4 poems. This first one is received honorable mention in last year's PEN America contest. It's called Lightning Rods. There is a certain reluctance among us people in prison and those, yes, I said people, but what I mean is Travis and Andrew and James, Osma, Davon, H-Town, Black, Shorty and Rocco and Red and Tank, who are on our side. There are sides, yes indeed, not just left behind or raptured right inside the walls or outside fences, caught in between defense and prosecution, so close to persecution. But believe me, all of us are safer with some of us locked up or locked down, if fewer than any of us might count or know. Advocates for a more humane, which is not to say human, distribution of justice, which is not to say mercy. To acknowledge that here, in this very place where we abide, for retribution, punishment, deterrence, or rehab, to be taught a lesson or set an example. This, children, is what you want to avoid in your life. The void so easily filled with story of who, or rather what, we are, or were, or could become if left to our own devices, or in the grip of our vices. Never mind the moral complications of punishing Peter to save Paul, sacrificing the few to save the all for certain limited values of all. Set apart for our sins, the secular version of sins, that is, we having moved beyond the New Testament virtues of love and forgiveness into the grim, dark business of old. Eye for an eye makes the whole world balanced in the scales of the carefully blinded justice. We are yet living, are alive, to be reminded that there are days, hours, minutes, even weeks when we do not, in fact, weep. When we eat food that our tongues might rejoice in, we laugh like people might laugh at a joke that the free world might laugh at, or cry when we hear that a child has died. We hunger and are filled with the bite of a sharp wind, roll over and are comforted by the embrace of a freshly laundered sheet. Our sleep some nights even sets us free. Shh. This one is called Star Tribune Reports. A man wrote a letter in which he said, "Welcome," meaning nothing like that, in which he said, "There must be consequences. We have been too soft, too long, and now look." Now look, bitter fruit flowers from his mouth. The rage. There must be a story locked inside, a heart spilling only justice. Somewhere there is another page, just the facts. A child shot his friend in the face. Now look. I was afraid, he said. I didn't know what to do. Welcome. You have arrived. You will come to the end of yourself. The world will pass you by. You will think, I should have been different. The man would say, be responsible. It is late for that. A new age has arrived. Next time, you'll be better. You won't invent the gun. Won't flood America with violent tide swells of guns. Won't raise yourself on these disintegrating streets. Won't set yourself alone in the world where safety lies only in a waistband heavy with gun. Next time, you'll be born to a different life. Next time, you won't pull the trigger. You won't be afraid. Now look, another day arrives. Welcome. This one is immediately relevant for me. It's called I Look for Work After All These Years. They ask questions like bullets while I stand against the wall, blindfolded, cigarette hanging loose from my lip. This is not the time or place to lose my faith. Tell me about yourself. My mind becomes a movie screen. Jump cuts, scene to scene. Everything I should not say. I nearly pissed my pants bouncing in the back of a truck across Iraq, past blackened tanks beneath a shrieking yellow sky. My mother died weeping in a bed, which rose and fell at the touch of a button, luxury provided by the state, months or decades too late. Year after year passed by in a cell. All around me people lived, crumbled, fell apart, came back together, moved on or didn't, all of us wounded inside. This is not the time or place to say, I have so many words for the world, I had to become a poet. And here I am, ready to crack open the heart of this job, be human, breathe, laugh wildly before I cry, comfort the fallen, still somehow ship products and get paid. But this is not the time or place. This last one is when I hear the word Iowa. I see field after field of corn, planted in spring, grown a standing crowd of blonde tassels above the whispers of leaves, rubbing against each other in the wind as they wait for harvest. Combine, a wide green engine shining in sunlight. I see small mysterious towns draining away to the cities, some just done with crops, weather, dirt, others no longer able to make payments. I see Sean, blonde-haired, blue-eyed farm boy, 6 feet and change, ruddy cheeks, and a relentless sense of humor, who went by Iowa, because that's where he was from. And in prison, people from elsewhere go by the name of their home, Chi-Town, N.O., Kansas. He didn't talk about the farm, his parents, their sadness, unless asked. He liked to write long, elaborate kites, laying out proposals for ways to change the system, make it more human, more a place that could heal instead of harm. Some were hilarious. When he was almost out the door, he wrote one thanking the DOC for the red plastic dispenser of free razors, the one marked Sharp's disposal, near the officer's desk. His cheeks dimpled as he imagined the reader's reaction. Less than a month after he returned to the dark loam fields of his family's farm, he overdosed on heroin. He was not yet 30 years old. His name was Sean, and his parents loved him, and he spent time in prison. I'm writing this so that you too can think of him when you hear the word Iowa.